Well, Ben, hello from California.
Hey, how we doing, Ben?
Doing good. How about you? Uh,
Oh, doing great. Crazy thing, it's been really cold in Los Angeles the
that's
last like 3 days. It got to the 30s last night.
Mhm.
Um, I know it's not crazy, but for Los Angeles, it's a little crazy.
I interviewed someone not long ago from Los Angeles, and they said they've been getting some freezing weather.
Yeah, but it's interesting. We had one week where like there was rain, but it wasn't crazy cold. But now we're getting the cold. Hmm.
Yeah. And so you're an actor,
Yes. I,
and
so I'm an actor, I'm a stand-up comedian, I'm a writer. Nowadays you kind of have to do everything.
oh yes, definitely. I'm with you on that. I'm besides interviewing celebrities, I'm also a freelance illustrator.
Oh,
Uh, I've been I haven't had that many gigs uh lately. Um I mean I'm still a beginner, but I have a few gigs coming up with some people that I've interviewed on this podcast. They have some
very cool.
books and that they need me to illustrate for them. Just waiting to receive that script when they're all complete. And it's and I feel like it's difficult, which is good to have mul multiple talents because I feel like for some of the talents that we have, it's hard to get because of AI is taking over. Even though I don't like to talk about AI for a lot of
Yeah.
reasons.
It's funny you bring AI up. I'm a SAG-AFTRA actor, and we were just on strike, and so the Writers Guild was on strike as well. Um, and really, a lot of what we were striking for was, of course, to get more money that we deserve. But nowadays, as you were saying with AI, we need those protections from it
Yeah.
because, man, I think there was something where they was like they wanted just background actors or whatever to come in for a day of work, get paid for one day, and then be able to use their entire likeness and everything forever without having to pay them again.
Yeah.
Come on. That's just not
It's not
acceptable.
right.
No. So yeah, you were saying about this all this AI stuff. It's a scary time. It really is. Nobody knows what is gonna come from it now.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, if you gave someone permission to use AI, that's an excuse. Because I mean, it's like with Bruce Willis. I mean,
yeah, see, that's one thing where um yeah, if you give permission, that's one
yeah,
thing. But if you don't give permission and
that's
they do
bad.
it, I mean, come on. And even in if they do that, you should get paid every time they use it.
Mhm.
Um, your likeness is you. It's
Yeah.
it's part of your portfolio in a sense, Now we have to even start looking at it like that, which is a crazy thing to think about on itself. But yeah.
Yeah, and with saying how AI is really scary, I'm glad they're not taking it to the extreme as they did before. Because like, I mean, actors like Bruce Willis, I mean, since he's diagnosed with dementia, he's given permission
Yeah.
because he still wants to act and get royalties, of course, but he's letting people use the permission to AI him for those roles. But I'm also glad because when recently when we found out that Jonathan Majors was fired from Disney for playing King, which was a huge disappointment because he was fantastic as
He
King.
was he was good as Kang.
I was afraid they
I
were
don't know
going to
about
AI him.
you, but I loved that second season of Loki.
Good show.
and
Good show.
and just yeah, phenomenal second season. The first season was great too, but what they did with him as Kang in it, and now like yeah, it's really upsetting. I mean, what he did and everything, but it's just upsetting that now we're not going to be able
See
to
the
really
rest of the
have the
story.
Kang, story. Yeah.
I mean, Marvel is gonna go into Doctor Doom, but yeah, it is
Yeah,
disappointing
yeah.
they're not gonna continue the King, and I'm glad they didn't recast the actor
No,
because
I
oh,
agree. He was great as Kang, and I don't want to see them. Yeah, I don't want to see them recast it. I mean, yeah.
and speaking of acting, there was a video I found on YouTube a while back that you were in. It was a prank video. I'm not gonna say what is because it's not appropriate for a retro podcast. But
I think I know what you're talking about. Oh my God, man.
and
Um,
and I can't show as well because I don't have
no,
a license
yeah,
to show
I
up.
know
But
exactly. There was yeah, no, you know what? It was a funny time, I will say.
what was
Doing
the
this
idea
video.
behind that prank video?
So the channel that it was on, they had done a bunch of these prank videos before, and they, but nothing like that,
Mm.
because we shot two videos that day. We shot the first one, which was like, the nice, sweet video,
Mhm.
whatever, about the character I played named Jimmy or whatever his name was. And yeah.
I'm sorry, it's the funniest thing.
No, it
You were
really,
hilarious. You cracked me up.
whenever I watch that video, I crack up. Like, and there was this one woman who was in it, and she literally had moved to the States, like, I want to say like 2 weeks prior, and just her reaction and like just everything in this video was perfect. Like, it was welcome to Los Angeles. If you want to be in this industry, crazy happens all in this industry. You never know what's going to happen. Like, here's a fun story I like to tell. I did a commercial a while ago for AT&T,
Nice.
and originally I went in for an audition, and um I go in and they wanted me to like dunk a basketball on a kitty hoop or whatever, right? So go in, I'm doing it, I dunk the ball. Great, awesome. We'll let you know. And I'll say something about that afterwards, about auditioning and callbacks and everything. But this time I get a callback, and the call it was this was crazy in itself when I got the callback, because usually, you have auditions and callbacks during the day, right?
Mhm.
So this was a random Wednesday night. I get a callback at 8:30 at night, and I show up to the callback. And the funny thing is, they were doing callbacks for two different commercials and two different parts. And the part that I was my part, that, I look this way, whatever, you could see all the guys who were there for our part. And then there was a part with like gorgeous women, blonde, brunette, everything.
Mhm.
And it was just so funny to see like the difference of people coming in for that one and then us. But so I go in, but this time they tell me, for the callback, we want you to um be like one of those guys from Deliverance, from that movie. So
Mhm.
like a total backwoods, kind of hick, kind of whatever you want to say. Dun 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 dun, that kind of stuff. So I go in, I do the audition. They liked it. Great. As we're talking in the room, they're like, "Okay, Ben, this is going to sound so out there, but it just came to us. Would you mind taking your shirt off and pretending you're a merman?" And I'm like, "You know what? Perfect. I'll do it. Whatever. You got to go with the bit. So I take my shirt off, pretend to be a merman. Great. A week goes by, I hear nothing. And then my manager calls me and he tells me, Ben, you booked it as the merman. So I did this whole commercial as the merman. The craziest thing is I went in for like fittings and stuff, and they gave me a full on tail and everything.
Nice.
And the craziest thing, I probably tried on 4 tails during the fitting. Each tail I found out was $15,000 to make.
Wow.
Yeah.
15,000.
I asked them if I could keep it at the end, but they said no. So,
Fully understood. Yeah,
um,
because when you're
but
saying the tails, oh,
oh,
sorry.
sorry. What were you gonna say?
Well, when you're saying that the tails were $15,000 to make,
Yeah.
it's funny because I'm working on a stop motion animation horror film,
Oh,
and the creature in the film was $1,000 to build because
wow.
there's a lot of detail to add. It's a reptile like creature.
Oh, very
Yeah.
cool.
And from discussing comedy that you've done a lot of comedy. Now
Yeah.
with the skit that you did with the girls and there was that photo shoot, the parody skit, would
Yes.
with all the changes that we go through every day, like every day is a new day, everything changes different days. Would comedy like that still get made today or would it not get made today?
See, and that's the crazy thing. You never know. Um, Something like that could be really, really like frowned upon today, I feel
Offensive.
like. But then at the same time, people love funny stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, and I will say everyone was a good sport about it. Um, we also did it in a way where if anybody at all you know, um, felt uncomfortable or anything, we would have stopped and all of that kind of stuff. Um, it's so that video stemmed from other prank videos like that they had done with I remember they did one with what was her name? Um I forget her name, but she was a model actress, and instead of me doing that part, she did it. But she's this gorgeous, gorgeous model, and yeah. So a little different, but it's funny. These days you can't do some stuff that we used to be able to do, which really is annoying to me if you ask me. Comedy is comedy.
Yeah,
We're having fun. We're making we're joking. We're not
exactly.
serious. And I think that's the thing that irks me sometimes. Like, a joke is a joke, you know? Yes, some jokes are
Over the
very
top.
out there and offensive, but if you are at a comedy show, if you're at a live stand-up show, you should know what you're getting into, you know? Maybe don't go to a comedy show if a joke, is if you aren't able to laugh at something.
Mhm.
Uh, and no one's coming at you. It's just out there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that because I feel like that because I mean, like I said, comedy is comedy. We're just doing entertainment. Like
Yeah.
I think it should come down to like you're gonna have people who think it's hilarious. You're gonna have some people that don't think it's hilarious. And here's the thing,
Oh,
like I mean, as an average white guy, yes, I've offended some people before, not intentionally, but accidentally. But I mean, here's the thing: at the end of the day, 90% of my women friends and 90% of my black friends think people like Will Ferrell is funny, Kean Thompson's funny,
oh,
and Saturday Night
of
Live is funny, and it just makes me think if like okay, are there times they've done offensive things? Yes, but it depends
course.
if people find funny in that. And you could just think if the writers of SNL told Kean Thompson he couldn't do those jokes anymore, he'd be like, "The hell's wrong with you people?"
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And I was watching a comedy called "There's Something About Mary," which
Ah,
ridiculously funny.
great,
Now,
great movie. I
um,
don't know if it could get made
No, a
today.
movie like that would not get made today.
Like, you
But
know,
in its time, it was hilarious.
oh my, you know what, it was on the other day, and and I literally like was flipping through channels, and it was the bit with her hair sticking up, and I mean, come on, it like those types of comedies are some of my favorites. Like
Oh yeah,
any Adam Sandler from like way back then, um, Will Ferrell movies, you know, let's see, Encino Man, not Will Ferrell. I'm just
yeah.
saying more movies like Encino Man and Stripes and
Blazing Saddles.
come on now, one of the greatest comedies of all time. I will, you know what? I will say I have two favorite movies of all time, and they are one of them's a drama and one of them is a comedy. Uh, so they are Shawshank Redemption, one of the greatest films of all time, and my other favorite would have to be Animal House. Um,
Great movie.
John Belushi's big monologue in that movie was really the first big monologue. That is a great bit. Oh my God, that is a
I'm
great bit.
sorry I had to do that.
Oh, dude, 100%. And if anyone out there doesn't know what he's doing, go watch Animal House. And every little bit of that movie, there is something in there. And if you want to be a comedic actor, if you want to be a comedian, go watch it. Um, the amount of cameos in that movie and just little parts it's mind blowing.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's funny. The next question I was going to answer, you already answered that question. But anyhow, what was your favorite retro product growing up?
Wow, that is that's a good question. Oh my God.
Take your time.
Um, hmm, hmm. Wow, that's a really good question. There's so many. Like there's so many just retro things nowadays that to us, growing up, that was growing up. Um, but like any video game that was, from then, like original Game Boy Color, all those kind of things. Um, but then just like the little games we had, like uh what was it called? Rock'em Sock'em.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yes, I still have a one of the Rock'em Sock'em Robot rings with the two. uh I still have it somewhere here. Um what else? Oh, it's funny. I used to be a big like game person online. So I was into everything from like RuneScape to Neopets, even like back in the day. Um,
Neopets is a good one. I never played the games, but I definitely I collected one of the actually I still have it with me. I'll go
oh, okay.
uh it's this cute little guy
Wow.
was
Oh, wait. I remember they had races with those
yeah,
guys.
yeah this
In the on the site, that is a Poogle?
yes, it is a
Yes.
almost looks like a
Let's
squirrel.
go.
Like
Yeah, man, they had some great like because that was in the time of like when Pokemon was like really getting big and Digimon even and like just all these like things where you could have like a pet or whatever and play games with them and feed them and get them cool houses and like but like online and you could do it with friends and like yeah, and it's just crazy to see like what all that has kind of switched over to now?
yeah. I mean we do have a little bit of that still
Oh,
now.
of course,
Not
of
the same
course.
as it was
But I
in
mean, I I remember like going to school, schools would ban Pokemon cards because people were trading and fights would happen and all that kind of stuff.
Sorry, that was my phone. It went off.
Oh, all good. All good. What about you? What's your favorite retro product?
My favorite retro product, well, I was born in 99, but
Okay.
I love a lot of products from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, even though I didn't grow up in any of those periods. Still, I did a lot of collecting. I used to be a collector.
Oh,
I don't collect anymore, sadly, but I used to do a lot of collecting, but mainly it was products from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and
wow. Okay.
a little bit of the early 2000s. Most of it's most of it's Disney related.
Oh, very
Uh,
cool.
but yeah, I have a whole collection of Disney merch from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and
Wow. Okay.
even things that weren't Disney back then, but but now are Disney because
Oh, yeah,
Disney
yeah. So
buys so
did you
much.
like so you a big cartoon fan?
Yes, I'm really big into Pixar. Pixar's the
Oh,
biggest for me.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Disney, did you hear that? Well, not Mickey Mouse in general, but Mickey Mouse, the original one from Steamboat Willie, is now public
Huh.
domain.
So I did hear about that. Did you hear what they're going to be doing already?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Oh
It's not
man.
the first time they've done a horror movie with Mickey Mouse. I
No,
mean,
so yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But I don't know. This is gonna be oh man. It's gonna be interesting. We'll
Yeah,
see
because
what
I mean, there was a horror movie with Mickey Mouse 11 years ago called Escape from Tomorrow.
okay.
There was
Okay.
some controversy about it, mainly because, uh, well, first off, I mean, to film something in Disney, like mostly YouTube videos, you don't need permission for it because you're just doing it for fun. But
True, true.
if you're doing a movie and you're going to sell the movie, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem because there's a lot of things that are trademarked by Disney. But
Hmm.
see, just looking at the things that are well Disney related, but not the Disney I mean, like Winnie the Pooh, for example. Like Winnie the Pooh and the rest of the characters are now
Yeah,
domain, but
crazy.
see, not the Disney version. The versions that they're using,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's the original versions that Christopher Robin did. And same with Bambi. Now, not the Disney Bambi, but the
Huh.
original Bambi. And now that Steamboat Willie is public domain with that version of Mickey Mouse, yes, you could use it. And I feel like if Escape from Tomorrow came out today, there wouldn't be so much of a problem than there was back then.
Yeah,
It
that's
was the
interesting.
wrong time and the wrong place back then to release a movie like that.
Interesting. Interesting. That's an interesting theory, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ben, thank you again for joining today's episode. It was a blast, and
Hey, you know what? Thank you for having me. You ever need me again, I would love to come back on. It's funny we were talking about Winnie the Pooh. So my uncle is a pretty big name voice actor who has been in Winnie the Pooh. He was an original Transformer. Uh
nice.
yeah,
What Transformer did he play?
so he played Grimlock.
Yes, yes, I
Yes.
know
So
that one.
my uncle is Greg Berger. Um he was also Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh.
Small
Uh
world.
yeah, small world. It's funny at like family events, he'll sometimes do the voices and you never know what you're gonna get. Maybe you'll get an Eeyore, maybe you'll get a Grimlock. If you're lucky, you'll get the Gromble from All Real Monsters. Uh, but who knows?
Well, we do short films. Besides illustrations, we also make short films. Unfortunately, we don't have anything at the moment, but when we do have something, we'll keep in touch. And
Awesome, man. Yeah.
but yeah, thank you for coming on today's episode.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day, everybody.